Hi, everyone. Welcome back to North of the Fray, the channel where we explore narcissistic behaviors through a biblical lens. My name is Tanya, and I am so glad that you've joined me today. If you enjoy this type of content, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss when a video is posted. And hey, please drop a comment below with your thoughts or experiences. It is your stories that actually inspire these conversations. And so I thank you in advance for that. Today, I want to talk about a really unsettling topic. And I say unsettling because I'm experiencing something like this now in the workplace. It seems I've actually dealt with this in different places over time, which is why y'all, I'm ready to go. Okay. And so many of you will probably be able to relate to what I'm going to talk about today. And that is what happens when narcissists find themselves in jobs that allow them to watch other people, surveil others. I'm talking about roles like IT administrators or security personnel or managers with access to cameras, positions that can be easily abused to invade the privacy of others. Narcissists often have, what we call a God complex. And so they want to be all seeing, all knowing, and always in control 24/7. And this behavior actually reflects something deeper. It's really a spirit that drives them, just like Satan. And I'd say the spirit of Satan, right? It's just like Satan who wanted to be like God. Narcissists mimic that same desire in a very distorted and harmful way. And I want to break this down today to talk about it. Let's look at the dangers. And again, please share your comments about your experiences and let's talk about how we can protect ourselves from these monsters that have access to watch us. I call them the watchers. How we can protect ourselves from the watchers. So let's start with the why. Why do narcissists gravitate toward roles where they can watch and control others? As we all know, narcissists thrive on control and dominance. And when they're in a job with access to surveillance tools, it's like giving them a free pass to indulge their worst instincts. These roles not only fulfill their need for power, but also provide a cloak of legitimacy to their actions, allowing them to hide their intentions behind the guise of professionalism or workplace responsibilities. So for them, we know it's not about ensuring the safety of others or doing their job well. It's just about power, just about control, just about dominance. Surveillance tools become weapons in a narcissist's arsenal, giving them the ability to watch, monitor, and manipulate others without ever being noticed. But if you guys are like me, you feel there's something creepy going on. There's a feeling that you get. And I believe that's the Holy Spirit saying, hey, something is going on that's off, that's weird. Okay, so narcissists might go as far as installing hidden cameras in private spaces, tracking devices on personal belongings, or exploiting workplace surveillance systems to monitor coworkers. I worked with a really strange lady, a narcissistic female, who was the executive director of this organization. I was the assistant executive director for a very short time because she was very narcissistic. I couldn't do it. Person that came after me couldn't make it a week. And so, but she would listen to conversations through the phone system. She would control IT. They were sort of like friends. It was a company that was a friend of hers, and they would give her access to just watch and listen all over. It's super invasive and weird, okay, and scary. So anyway, they will hide these cameras and devices in private spaces. So when you close your office door, you guys, if you have a phone in there or if you have a camera, and you know you're working with a narcissist who has access to that stuff, I can guarantee you they're listening. Okay. They will exploit workplace surveillance systems to monitor coworkers, subordinates, or even take that stuff home and start using it on family members. Okay. This behavior is invasive, premeditated, and deeply calculated. So they don't accidentally just look up or hear you saying something. This is what they want to do. They want to be in control and dominate you and dehumanize you. So, to a narcissist, people aren't seen as autonomous individuals, but rather as possessions or extensions of themselves. And so, if they can't control you, okay, through watching and making you feel fearful of them, they'll watch you even harder and try to distort what you're doing and get you in trouble. So they use it for that too. So surveillance becomes a way for them to assert their ownership, stripping away the privacy and dignity of their targets. And here's some example. An IT administrator might secretly install spyware on devices to monitor emails and messages, or a manager might abuse access to the security cameras to observe employees during moments they assume are private. Again, when you close the door to have a meeting with someone, you assume that moment is private. But if there's a device that you can be heard on in there that someone can tap into, it's not private. Or like during breaks or in a less frequented area of the workplace, they'll install cameras or some type of device there. And these actions are not accidental or isolated. They are a part of a broader, deeply ingrained pattern of control and manipulation driven by the narcissist's need to dominate every aspect of their environment. Remember, they think that they are always in control. They want to always be seeing, always knowing, and always in control. And I want to share quickly some ways that this surveillance behavior can show up in different areas, like in a friendship. A narcissistic friend might constantly check in on you, not because they care about you, but because they want to keep tabs on your activity. They might track your social media. They'll see if you log in and the green light comes on Facebook, then they're calling you. It's so weird. It's like, why you start to put it together and they're calling you, like, I saw you were on Facebook, but I called you earlier and you never called me back. That type of control and manipulation, you have to stop that. Okay. Don't allow people to do that to you. But they demand updates about your life and get upset if you don't answer the phone and get upset if you don't send a message back. And they're trying to gain control over you and they're getting pissed off because you don't want to allow them to do that, or you want to set up a boundary. And I'm telling you to stand firm. And sometimes it requires you to really move away from those types of people. And let's look at it in a family relationship. They'll do some of the same stuff. They might overstep their boundaries by snooping through your belongings or eavesdropping on your conversations, or even enlisting other family members to do their dirty work and report back to them what you're doing. And they'll again tell those family members they're just concerned about you, so they can tell them what's going on with you, and they just want to make sure you're okay, but really it's surveillance. They're trying to keep tabs on your life and keep control and assert their dominance over you. Same thing in dating and marriage. A narcissistic partner might want to know your passwords or have access to all your social media accounts, claiming it's about trust. You should trust me. Okay, they have this whole thing set up on their side. They'll give you passwords and access to social media accounts, but those are the ones they want you to see. We know narcissists always have 10 different whatever they've got going on because they're trying to do control and dominance everywhere. And so they giving you access to this one little part that they kept clean, right? And so you see how calculated their behavior is, how evil and wicked it is. This is a spirit. This is not just a person who's just deciding they want to snoop around or be nosy. It's deeper than that, because these people go through great lengths to try to control and dominate other people. It really is a wicked spirit. And so these types of behaviors create an oppressive environment where people around them start to feel powerless and constantly watched. Um, Again, I don't want to get into what I'm dealing with at work, but I feel that way. And you can't put your finger on it, so you don't say much of anything, but you're like, something is off. I feel like someone's watching me all the time. And it is so weird. And I know you guys can't explain it. I'm certain I'm right, because I've always been right with this feeling that God gives me, like a warning. It's like, going off an alarm on the inside. And other people might not be feeling it. They might not be in touch with God and or care about boundaries or anything. But when you're a person who's firm with your boundaries, and you're observant, and you've seen some concerning behavior and red flags in people, you start to pay attention to what's going on and what you're feeling. And so I want you guys to continue to trust that if you're doing that. And if not, please start doing it. All right. So let's dig a little deeper, real quick, from a spiritual perspective. God's omnipresence is a source of comfort, love, and protection. He sees all, knows all, and uses his power to guide us with grace and compassion. This is a reflection of his character, which is selfless, good, and always seeking our best. Narcissists, on the other hand, they take this concept and twist it, as they do everything. They want to mimic God's omnipresence, but their intentions are not the same. Their intentions are actually opposite. It's a perversion, and it's rooted in selfishness, harm, and control. It is a counterfeit of God's nature, and it reflects the spirit of Satan, who also sought to be like God. But of course, we know that he perverted that desire into rebellion and indulgence for himself. And so Satan's goal was never to nurture or protect, but to dominate and destroy. And narcissists embody that same spirit in their actions. So when narcissists invade your privacy, violate your boundaries, and manipulate your sense of safety, it is not just a physical or emotional attack. Y'all, this is a spiritual attack. They create an environment where you feel powerless and dehumanized, as if someone is always watching you. Remember that song, I always feel like somebody's watching me? And that's how it feels when you're dealing with them, when you're around these types of people. You feel uneasy. You don't know why. You don't want them to touch you. This person that you may have just met, don't talk to me, don't call me. When they call, you start cringing, and you're like, why am I acting like this? I'm being mean, maybe I'm being rude or something. No, it's an alarm. It's saying something's wrong with them. Be careful, they're crazy. Okay. And so um this attack on your autonomy can leave you feeling sometimes trapped and hopeless. But I don't want you to be there, because here's the truth: God's omnipresence isn't just greater, it's entirely different. Where narcissists seeks to control, God seeks to give you freedom. Where they use knowledge to harm you, God uses it to heal and restore you. So, no matter how invasive a narcissist's behavior might be, they can never match God's sovereignty, love, or power. He is your ultimate protector, always present to guide and guard you. His love dismantles their lies, the control, the manipulation, the fear, and reminds you that you are never alone and that true freedom comes from him. So, if you suspect someone is misusing their position to invade your privacy, please pay attention to the warning signs. The Bible in Numbers 16 tells us to move away from these type of people because they are wicked. They are up to no good. And if we continue to carry on with them after God is warning us and we don't move out of the way, then we might get caught up in what they got going on. Okay. So ask yourself this about the people you suspect to be invading your privacy or someone else's. Are they always aware of things they shouldn't know? Because you need to ask yourself why. How do you know that? I ask people that sometimes. I'm like, so how do you know that? Okay, because something's off. You should know that. Why are you even watching that hard? Okay. And then think about this. Do they create situations where you feel paranoid or unsafe? Trust your instincts and take action when something feels off. And you do that by securing your privacy, So let's say your devices, even if you're at home or whatever, check them for spyware. Google how to do that if you don't know how. I might have a couple videos on here to tell you how to check your phone or something. Uh, Use strong passwords. Don't give anyone your passwords. If someone wants that type of information from you, you need to leave. They're no good, especially if you're dating someone like that. No, no. If you're married and you guys exchange passwords and that's an agreement that both of you are, you agree on, that's different to me. But you know the difference between if that person's trying to control you or if you guys have just come to a decision where, hey, I want my partner to have this. Okay. Um, Set boundaries, set firm boundaries. Narcissists will push you as far as you allow them to. When someone's pushing up against your boundaries, I kick back. Okay. And so I kick back and then I'll move away from them. Be firm about what is and is not acceptable and do not be afraid to call out inappropriate behavior. Will they come after you? Yeah, they probably will. Some of them will. Some of them will cower away. Um, but they might do it. But man, it sure feels good to me when I stand up for myself and I set boundaries and I'm firm with that in the face of someone that's a narcissist. I don't care what they do at that point. I know that I'm telling the truth and I'm going to stand up for myself. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be very proud of myself for doing so. And here's another thing, document everything, every single thing that they do. And if you need to talk to someone in HR, if you trust them, because HR can be kind of shady. Um, and then you might have another leader in the company or someone who works with you alongside you, a coworker who you trust. Talk to someone, get some advice, consider seeking professional or legal advice. If you're dealing with them with crazy surveillance, controlling, dominant behavior, abusive behavior. This is abuse. And then, most importantly, lean on your faith. Remember that God is your ultimate defender. So pray for wisdom, discernment, and strength to navigate narcissistic situationships. Okay. God's love is greater than any scheme of the enemy. That's where your power is going to be, in faith, trusting that he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world, greater than anything that a narcissist could do. Excuse me. And that leads me to the end with good news. You don't have to live in fear. And I'm not afraid of them. They're creepy. Don't get me wrong. But as they've said, never let them see you sweat. Okay. So we don't live in fear of them, but we do realize that they exist. There's craziness going on, wicked, evil behavior going on, and we move ourselves away. By setting boundaries, securing your privacy, and leaning on God, you can reclaim your sense of safety and autonomy and no longer allow these creatures to make you feel hopeless or alone. And with that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in again to North of the Fray. And until next time, stay strong, stay faithful, stand firm with your boundaries, and stay north of the fray. God bless you all. Take good care of yourselves.